All right, we'll go ahead and open the August 14th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Welcome. Our first order of business is review of the meeting minutes from our July 10th meeting. Those have been included in our packet. We've had a chance to review those. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
No.
Do we need to do a roll call vote on minutes now, or someone care to make a motion?
I move to approve the minutes as written.
Do we have support?
Support.
Please call the roll.
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Chair Egan?
Yes. All right, our next item is a public hearing for 2714 Sunnydale. Go ahead and open that public hearing. I assume you gentlemen, yes, please, because we're broadcasting.
My name is John Chandler with Chandler Construction Services, and I represent Chris and Lisa Williams for their property at 2714 Sunnydale. We've been on the project now for about 2 to 4 weeks, and part of the project is rebuilding the deck in the rear yard. This house is unique in that the original builder pushed it all the way back to the rear setback. And I believe while the walls are still in the setback, the eaves are into the setback. Currently, what our proposed plan is to change the deck that pushes way into that setback area, leaving only about 12'9" or so. We would like to demo that and rebuild a strip deck that goes the full length that I think would, at the maximum distance, extend 4 feet out beyond the rear of the house. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
All right, any questions for the applicant from the board?
Yeah, I have a couple. So where was the original entrance? There was mention in the packet that the kitchen went under a renovation and an opening was created.
The original opening, and Chris can help me out, I believe it was further north. It was about north, maybe 10 to 12 feet. That area got filled in and it was turned into where the sink is right now.
Okay, so did it open into the existing deck?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So there was a rear door on the west side to begin with.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then with the new entrance, constructed there, like what was the plan for an ingress egress structure?
That was prior to my involvement in the project. They had another contractor involved at that point. But obviously we would have had to have an egress platform there one way or the other.
Yeah, so I guess can I ask one question from the building inspection department? What would be the minimum structure according to the building code for that?
Slider?
Yes.
No, it's a
Or-
French door.
Okay, so if it was a slider, 2 steps to the exterior are allowed without a landing. But since this is a French door that swings, that is a hinge, the code requires a 3-foot landing on each side of the swing.
Okay, so I knew there was some subtleties there, because we have porches and decks and we talked a lot about projections in the yard. But that's mainly, section 310 has a lot to do with front yards and secondary yards. So we've had some experience with that, but no mention in the ordinance about what it needs to be according to the building code. So this would need a 36-inch landing. So what is pictured is just a temporary thing with the west view that we have.
So,
I,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, so, but, I have one question for Kristen. Concerning nonconformities, then if we go to nonconformities in section 21.7.a, and we've talked a lot about nonconformities. Is it possible, because of the mansard roof overhang being at 3.5 feet, that a platform, as Trudy described, does not violate or would not need any variance because it's already within the nonconformity, meaning the drip edge, which is 3.5 feet.
We've required variances because they're expanding the nonconformity. We've had someone in the front yard where there's a covered porch, or a covered entryway, the width of the house, and they wanted a big front porch, raised porch required a variance.
But since the overhang is already 3.5 feet, and that's where the nonconformity is, is it really expanding a nonconformity if it's within the nonconformity already, a 3-foot platform? This is creative thinking right now. And it was something that every time I think I know what I'm doing here, and I read something, we come up with a unique situation, and this is obviously unique architecture. So I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, but when I read some of the 21.7.a about, dimensions and volume and not increasing the volume, they're not really increasing the volume if the platform is still within the confines of the drip edge.
May I speak to what you're talking about? Currently, there's an existing deck, and I have pictures, I believe, in the packet that you have. That deck actually sticks out, I believe, I want to say 9 feet from the furthest house projection. What we're proposing is to reduce that projection to only 6 feet past that furthest projection. So that would, by my calculations, that would increase our rear setback.
Yeah.
So we're trying to move, the whole house is non-conforming. And I'm trying to move us towards better conforming to the code, to the setback, while realizing there's no possible way we could ever
Yeah.
reach that point.
Right, we understand that. 7 feet for the new deck and 5 feet, including the steps that go west.
Yes.
But a decrease. But before we go there, I'm just trying to baseline what it would look like without a variance,
Okay.
with the opening, the new opening that was constructed without any variance, foresight, I'll call it.
Sure.
If I may, I don't know, maybe if you remember 905 Lions Park Drive was a similar situation where there was a roof over a set of steps and they wanted to reconfigure the steps. And we did, hear that.
I think what Kristen said is correct. That's how it's been treated. It's
Yeah.
fair, but it's certainly something you can take into
Yeah,
and what they're attempting to do to reduce.
okay.
You know, it's something definitely that is part of.
Okay. So we, putting in a 3-foot, platform there would still be considered, according to nonconformities, increasing the volume. Okay. Because the drip edge doesn't move.
If you kind of look at it as a whole, and what the impact might be.
Yeah,
This is the overall impact less than what's currently there.
yeah, okay. Yeah, it was just something I thought of this afternoon while I was sanding. So sometimes your mind will wander. And I just thought it was a creative way of maybe getting away, you know, having no variance at all. Okay.
Other questions? All right, thank you, sir. If we need you, we'll know where you are. Anyone here care to speak to this application? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Discussion of the board? Yeah, I kind of like the plan. I think it's reducing the overall distance to the rear property line. Pretty significant, really, a couple of feet, so I can fully support it. Further discussion?
No, I'm just, you know, I'm just a little disappointed that, someone went ahead and put a door in hopes of, getting a variance before they got the variance.
Well, I will move to approve variance request for the
Well,
property.
we need to run through the findings first.
Yeah,
Oh,
the findings.
This is right. Yep. Tried to jump ahead.
So if you want to take a swing at the
Take a swing
findings,
at the
you-
findings.
Yeah, somebody else can do the findings. I'll just-
All right, I'll take a swing at it. A, the variance would not be detrimental to adjacent property in the surrounding neighborhood. As discussed, it's a actual reduction of the existing encroachment. So I don't believe it would affect any neighboring properties negatively. The variance would not impair the intent or purpose of the ordinance. I don't believe it would. Exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions apply to the property in question or to the intended use of the property that do not generally apply to other properties in the same zoning district or vicinity. Such circumstances shall create a practical difficulty because of unique circumstances or physical conditions such as narrowness, shallowness, exceptional shape, or topography of the property involved, or to the intended use of the property. I believe that, as mentioned, the house appears to have been pushed all the way back to the rear setback, which kind of handcuffs everybody involved a little bit with not having much flexibility. So I believe there are some unique circumstances here. The variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right similar to that possessed by other properties in the same zoning district and in the vicinity. The possibility of increased financial return shall not of itself be deemed sufficient to warrant a variance. I believe they've got a deck there now. If this wasn't passed, there could still be a deck there. And again, with this change, we are reducing that setback. The condition or situation for the specific piece of property for the intended use of said property for which the variance is sought shall not be so general or recurrent of nature to make reasonably practicable the formulation of a general regulation or condition for the situation. I don't believe that this is so common that we need to change the zoning ordinance. F, the condition or situation for which the variance is sought shall not be the result of actions of the property owner. Again, somebody did cut a doorway in there, which would be actions of the property owner. However, as stated, the existing deck already encroaches further than what this request is, so I can live with that. G, strict compliance with area setbacks, frontage, height, bulk, or density requirements would unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose and would render conformity unnecessarily burdensome. Again, that existing deck could remain and be repaired. So this reduces that. Thus, it's I believe, a minimum. The variance will result only in the property that, or the variance will relate only to the property to the subject of the application. And yes, that is true. Did I skip one? H, the variance requested is the minimum necessary change to mitigate the hardship. Again, with the deck in the existing location, that deck could remain. This deck being closer to the house, further from the property line, I believe makes this a minimum change. Discussion on the findings?
No, I think you talked me into it.
All right, so I will move to approve variance requests for the property known as.
Kristen wants to interrupt.
I want to say something just so it's on the record. So the zone, and I've explained this to the applicant, to the property owner. There's, the ZBA consists of 7 members, 5 are voting, and we have 2 alternates. Today, we only have 3 members present. All 3 need to vote in the affirmative for this application to be approved today. You can decide what you want to do, based on the comments you've heard. And if the case is denied today, you have to wait 1 year, for resubmit.
I guess the only thing I'd also ask you to do is consider addressing the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial. And under subsection C, it relates also to G, requirements that would unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a
What was the first one?
Uh,
D?
Substantial property rights.
Yeah, I believe, outdoor living space is, while not a requirement, it's certainly an enjoyable thing that I think can be a property right.
Consistent with the neighbor.
Yeah, and consistent with the neighborhood and, as stated, this deck further from the property line, I think offers that property right. And that related to,
G.
yeah, would, maintaining that existing deck. Again, we're driving more, in my mind, we're driving more towards compliance with the ordinance rather than further away based on that existing deck. Not offering this and we keep that deck seems contrary to things, and I can construe that's unnecessarily burdensome. Did you make it all the way through the motion?
No? Am I good? Okay, so I move to approve variance request for the property known as 2714 Sunnydale Drive from section 5.2, table 5-1, R1, a single-family residence district of the zoning ordinance as follows. 1, decrease the required rear building setback for a portion along the west lot line from 30 feet to 19.5 feet to allow a deck being 59.5 feet in width, or 59 feet 5 inches, sorry, in width, and a 6-foot by 6-foot second floor deck. 2, decrease the required rear building setback along a portion the west lot line from 30 feet to 17 feet 9 inches for a 6 by 1 foot 8 inch staircase on the west side of the deck, and 30 feet to 25 feet 5 inches for a 4 feet 1 inch by 3 foot staircase along the north side of the deck, based on the application and supplemental information prepared by the applicant and included in the August 13th, 2025 Zoning Board of Appeals agenda packet, based on the draft findings as the request meet the required standards under section 15.4.10 of the zoning ordinance, with the condition that deck and staircases remain open and unenclosed other than the existing 3-foot 6-inch overhang from the building.
We have a motion. Do we have support?
Support.
Further discussion on the motion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Hubble.
Yes.
Or Chair Eber.
Yes.
Mr. Butcher.
Yes.
Motion is approved 3-0.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, our next order of business. Meeting dates for 2026 already. Looks pretty straightforward to me.
I don't understand the repetition.
What action do we need to take? Any? Voice vote?
Approve the date, but
Voice
I move to
voice vote?
approve the 2026 meeting dates as presented.
Is there support for the motion?
I support.
Further discussion on the motion?
Chair Eber.
Yes.
Mr. Hubble.
Yes.
Mr. Butcher.
Yes.
Motion is approved 3-0.
All right, our next item is board changes and appointment of a vice chair. Let's stick it to somebody who's not here. That'll teach them, because I'm not gonna be here for the September meeting.
Monday's the deadline for that meeting, so I don't know what happened.
Do we want to take action on that? Well, we probably need to, since I'm not gonna be here in September, right? Rather than wait and have maybe a full board.
Yeah, I think you could go ahead and do it. So that we can do vice chair, especially knowing you're not going to be here.
Sword won't be here.
Yeah, the first time. My first absence.
Well, yeah. And
Would one of you
I
like to
wanted-
volunteer to
I
be
was-
vice chair? Who else do we have? We've got,
Mike and John, I kind of think.
How about the
I will
season?
probably do that, but I don't know that for sure.
How about someone who's well seasoned? Huh, Sean? We could give him a gift.
So I just did ask the city attorney if didn't want to pick one day, we could at the meeting pick a temporary for the day. Run the meeting if we have a meeting in September.
right.
And then go that route.
Mike did it before.
yeah, I mean, there have been times somebody's had to step in. Is the most senior person that.
Well, I think it'd be a little more fair.
Probably.
I mean, we can appoint Mike for the next meeting if there is one. There is that risk. Yeah, so I would maybe prefer that we hold off until we have everybody here. And maybe we won't have a meeting in September. Okay. We avoided that one, didn't we? Any old
Kick the
business?
can.
No old business? Audience comments? Oh, he left. Board comments? Staff
Yeah,
comments?
you know, that, it just disappoints me when people come in and, you know, they should have applied for the variance with their plan in place versus preempting, the opportunity of expecting a variance.
Well, and then, there's been, in the kitchen remodel process, they hadn't picked out the door until like last minute. They were able to get the front door instead of the side. And it was a slide. That could have changed the configuration of what was needed. Oh.
Right, but, yeah, but since it was a swinging door, they would have needed a variance anyway. They could have applied for the variance, but it almost it looks like they applied for a variance with this deck that they want to run, you know, the length of the house. And yes, it, according to measurements and codes, it is less. And, but,
People don't know they need variance until they apply for a permit with us and find out, it's just that's not everyone knows what setbacks
Right.
are,
But-
what codes are, so they come and get denied a permit.
but still, if a homeowner's doing it, I'm probably a little more sympathetic than when a contractor's doing it. Cause that's their business. Okay. That's all I have to say.
Excellent. Staff comments? Anybody? Anybody?
What case is that line? There might be one that now. Probably October.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know of any? There might be a fence variation.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support?
I support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.